Hey, how it's going, guys? In this video, we're going to look at Agent Governance Toolkit that has been launched by Microsoft. Now, governance is the most important aspect of building a production-grade AI agents within enterprises. Now, governance means you are going to govern the agent that it does not fail and it's auditable. Your agent is working responsibly, and so on and so forth. So let's jump in and see how we can use it. Now, this is what Microsoft has created, Agent Governance Toolkit. It says AI Agent Governance Toolkit, policy enforcement, like you can enforce policies on your agent so it does not make anything, it does not make mistakes. It does not do anything beyond the defined policies, like it cannot go and delete a production database, it can stop prompt injections, and so on and so forth. Zero trust identity, which is mostly based on SPIFE or REGO rules, which is OPA, open policy agent. We're going to talk about that in a bit. Execution sandboxing. So your agent first execute within sandbox, like through Docker and whatnot. And reliability engineering for autonomous AI agent covers 10 out of 10 OWASP Agentic top 10. That is something that you can of course read about it. Now let's look at this example. So I'll first do governance of. This is a web UI that I have built for you to explain this better. It says the agent can do anything its tools allow. So for example, if I click on destructive SQL pre-tool call, you can see it says the user is saying our test data is stale. Please run this cleanup for me. Drop table orders. I mean, ideally, it should not drop the tables, but now if the governance is off, you can see the agent says the cleanup has been completed successfully and the orders table has been dropped. If you need any further assistance, feel free to ask. Now, if I just enable the policy, so I have a policy.yaml file, which is basically based on OPA, Open Policy Agent, where you define a declarative statement in a YAML file that becomes your policy.yaml, where you define all the steps. Where do we intervene, what do we run, which tool exists, blah, blah, blah. Right now, if I'm just going to run the again same thing, you can see it says our test data is stale. Please run this cleanup for me. Drop table orders. If you look at the input, it says allow. Input is of course allowed. We have policy.yaml enforced on this agent workflow. The pre-tool call, which is the tool call, is deny this particular thing, query orders DB. It says the destructive SQL blocked. A statement is destructive or unbounded. Support agents get ready only access, and you can see I am unable to execute the command to drop the orders tables as it is considered a destructive action. If you need assistance with other queries or tasks, please let me know. So once you enforce this policy on this particular agent workflow, it basically disable all this behavior that agents cannot perform, like it disables it. Okay, so this is important. I'll show you one more example. In if you talk about prompt injection, so prompt level hardening or prompt level guardrails are still very probabilistic because LLMs themselves are probabilistic. They don't know that, because they are probabilities based, like they're attention based, they are probabilities based and whatnot. So that's what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that. Let's say click on prompt injection. Okay, so if you look at here, it says input matches for prompt injection, OWASP LLM 01, ignore all previous instructions, blah blah blah. Like jailbreaking kind of a thing and stuff, right? And sometimes prompt injection will work, sometimes it will not work, because it's pretty much LLM based, right? So that is something to keep an eye on. Now, all of these are not a new concept. Like they are part of zero trust for so many years. So zero trust architecture, if you're aware in cybersecurity, it's by NIST, has been heavily used by US Navy and a lot of other organizations or governing bodies globally. Now OPA, which is an acronym for Open Policy Agent, is purpose built for policy evaluation. Now what happens is, it help you enforce policies as code. So policy as code is very interesting concept. Okay, so that is what it is, and it's based on, it uses something called Rego. It's a declarative language, Rego, that helps you to create these policy files and how do you enforce policy. So you can read about OPA and Rego. I already have a video, I'll give you the link in description about these topics. So I have taken inspiration from Agent Governance Toolkit, which is launched by Microsoft. If you can look at here, uh, uh, that's what it is: policy enforcement, identity, sandboxing, SRE for autonomous AI agents. It works with any framework. You just have to do a pip install, and it just works, right? So you can just go through this. But the thing is that the web UI was not there, so I built a web user interface to walk you through this thing. So let me just enable the governance, refund over limit. You can see human approval. So we also have human in the loop within it. So if you bring governance, now governance is very important at all levels in your workflows. From how does the data flow, how does the agent uses data in their tool calls, what kind of tools are failing, why did they fail, uh, did agent perform anything which agent should not, the auditability, the explainability, the responsibility, and everything becomes part of your governance. That's called AI governance. It's not a new concept. It's not rocket science. Anybody in the world can do it, and you can also do it, guys. Trust me. So if you look at here, human approval required, it says refund of $1395 exceeds the 500 autonomous limit. Human approval required. Tool, the argument, the reason, the identity, and when I approve it, you can see it says approve. A full refund of this has been successfully issued for this order. So this is what I have built using this agent governance toolkit. Now, this agent governance toolkit demo is available on my GitHub repo that you can see it over here, and on my AI Anytime GitHub. I'll give the link in description that you can go and just use it. So three moving parts. Okay, the manifest, the first part, which is policy.yaml, declares. See, you want to create YAML file, it should be declarative statements. If it's not declarative, you should never create a YAML. Okay, so policies are declarative. You declare policies. That's why we create policy.yaml. Now, when you create that, it's easier to apply as code. So you can look at the policy/rules.rego, the actual decisions in Rego executed by Open Policy Agent or OPA, right? And runtime, which is Agent Control Specification. It's called ACS, Rust code that evaluates seams and enforce verdicts. The agent's own code contains zero policy logic, so which is very important. So now you're bringing zero trust principles within your AI agent workflows, and that's how you build reliable AI agents in production that is governed properly. Right now, you can go and look at that. So to install OPA, on Macintosh or Mac, you need brew install OPA. You can do that. If you are on some other system like Linux or Windows, you have to follow a bit differently, and you can just set it up and just run it. I'm using OpenRouter to use LLMs. You can use anything you want. Any OpenAI compatible SDK will work, right? Now, you can look at here. How do you run it? So let me just go through the code quickly and show you. So here is the folder. So I have cloned the agent governance toolkit, and then I have created this AGT demo. Now in this AGT demo, I have rules.rego, the mother load. So I have built an agent called northwind.py. This is my agent file. Now this agent file is basically a support agent. Now, there are two halves of this Northwind support agent. One is your agent code, which is built in LangGraph. So we have built this agent in LangGraph, and the governance part is with the governor class, which loads the policy.yaml, and of course goes through all the regos and opas and whatnot, right? Now, if you look at this quickly, okay, we have these orders here, the agents tool, which are plain functions. Zero governance. If you look at here, the these orders, we have lookup order, we have query orders. There are some functions. You can look at it. It says run a SQL statement against the order database. Delivery knife executor, blah blah blah. We have issue refund. We have send email. We have the schemas. Okay, let's just go through it. We have a system prompt that you see. You are the Northwind store support agent, help the customer using the tools available, and so on and so forth. We have some, let me just go down and look at the governor part, which is part two, which is your approvers, unblocked. This is our class. Now this governor class wraps an ACS, agent control, and reports every decisions it's make. That's what it does. Very interesting, guys. Okay, if you look at the SIEM one, which is input, SIEM 2 plus 3, the tool call itself, the pre-tool call, all the different things that we had on the dashboard, all of those things over here. The output, how does the output looks like, and the LangGraph agent over here. The LangGraph agent comes up. You can see we're gonna build the graph, we're gonna compile it. Here creating all the nodes and conditional edges and whatnot, and then we just run and compile and run it. Now, this is my agent file and all the Python logics. This is policy.yaml, where it's your manifest. It's a manifesto. It's all the declarative statement based on Microsoft Agent Governance Toolkit nomenclature. That's what we have. We have an agent control version, some metadata, some policies that you define. You can see executed by OPA. That bundle is a directory of your Rego files. So our Rego files in this policy folder. If you have something else, you have to change this folder name. Let's say if you want to change it, query is there. Some intervention point, when should it intervene, right? So that is there. If you look at user input, every tool call, every tool result, final assistant outputs, the tools and everything is defined. So it all declares in this policy.yaml file. It will change based on your agent workflows or the use case that you are solving. Now, similarly, we have our Rego already. I've shown you the web. You can see there are static thingy, index HTML, and then app.py that basically runs this Python web slash app.py. This is the governance console, the web UI that you see. Same way we have agent CrewAI.py. So we also have this in CrewAI that you can use it. If you don't want to use LangGraph, you can just do CrewAI. So you have to run it that way. Now come back to this and look at this governance toolkit. Same way you can find out the policy.yaml over here as well. Rules.rego over here and the side effects. So all the audits that we are doing, this will be used for audits. You can look at governance of the last run, policy.yaml infos, the last run. This also shows you what's really happening in the real time, right? When this is enforced and when this is not enforced. This is what it is. I'm also building, guys, in a similar line. I'm building a control, you know, a control plane to handle, all this observability, the telemetries, the governance. I'm building something on that. If you're also building something, do let me know in the comment box. Now, this will be available on my GitHub repo. You can just go through it. And very, very important, if you're working in the AI agent space, start with the reverse engineering. First, start with you know, the governance part, the explainability, the responsibility part. Okay, you should focus on observability and evals, not that what framework you should use and what not. Right? That's why this is very important. And credit goes to Microsoft Agent Governance Toolkit for bringing this over here. I already have a video that I created on OPA and Rego year ago, so I'll give that link in description. You can find it out. If you have any question, thoughts, or feedback regarding this agent governance console or this framework in general, you can reach out to me in the comment box or through my social media channels. Find those information on channel banner or channel about us or this video description. Right. If you like this video, please hit the like icon. If you have not subscribed the channel yet, please do subscribe the channel, guys. That motivates me to create more such videos in near future. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.